Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday, or I suppose Saturday's being Saturday, a little bit beyond midday, the Mull for Saturday the 18th of July. Today I was reading through Matthew's Gospel, the last chapter, where you have the first Sabbath. Mary Magdalene and the other women went to the tomb and they experienced the angel, and on the way home they end up meeting Jesus, and the disciples meet Jesus. The poor guards who are at the tomb go off and tell the Pharisees what had happened, and they're told to just hush it up. And the Pharisees are quite keen to stop this, but the story spreads. And I was also reading through Acts chapter 4, where Peter and John are taken before the Sanhedrin, and the Sanhedrin eventually tells them, you may go. They beat them, tell them, now stop talking this nonsense about Jesus and the resurrection. And I'm always struck by Peter's response, verse 19 of chapter 4. But Peter and John replied, which is right in God's eyes, to listen to you or to him? You be the judges. As for us, we cannot help speaking about what we have seen and heard. And that always strikes me. They were speaking about what they'd seen and heard. And Paul later on talks about the experiences that people had, and up to 500 people saw the risen Jesus. They met with him, they talked to him, they walked with him, they ate with him, and they were entirely sure that this was Jesus. He had been dead and he was now alive. They were not sharing their belief about Jesus. They were not it wasn't a conviction, it was an experience. And that gives it an absolute solid weight in terms of what we believe. And in the 21st century, it's possibly easier to say, well, maybe he didn't, maybe it's all myth, etc., and you cut it back. But if he didn't rise from the dead, what makes him so special? If he didn't do any of the miracles, why is he different to any other teacher that the world has seen? But because he did rise from the dead, that sets him apart. And therefore, we honor him, we obey him, we worship him, because that resurrection says this is Jesus, the Son of God. And because of that, we know that his promise to us of our resurrection will also be sure. So in the scripture, we have this solid truth, this mighty rock on which we can build our faith, and we can know that it is strong and it is true. So hold on to that. Know that you are loved, that the resurrection was achieved, and that we are promised an eternity because of that. And that is our hope. Be blessed.